Hello everyone, welcome to the morning class. Odd one out. How are you all doing? How's the preparation going on? Are you solving few questions of odd one out? So please keep solving some questions every day. Let me just check whether I am online or not correctly. Yeah, it's all as well. So yeah, please ask questions if you're online there. If you're there, please ask questions. Please ask doubts. Please complain, criticize, give feedback. You know, probably do things which we might not like, but just tell us what's good and what's right and what's wrong with us, or how we can manage your issues better. Give us a chance at least, and if you like us and like, subscribe and share. Try and so let's do it that way, okay? And let's try and so I think there must be if I'm not wrong, so I'm starting a program in which I will provide you mentorship. So it's a mentorship program, and in the mentorship program, I'll provide you one-on-one assistance. We'll discuss, we'll talk, and I mean we have to set up a plan in which we can discuss and share our thoughts. I think at some level, I think it has to work out in that way. So I think we will be able to establish a setup in which we can discuss and talk, and I will provide you a study plan which works out on your day-to-day basis, and you can sort of let me know how your schedule goes, how your day looks like, and then we will find out that those those moments, that an hour and a half or two in which you can do the needful, and you can improve your skills, and you can see that your scores are improving, and you will realize at the end of the process that it was an effort worth put in. It improved your confidence, it improved your overall confidence over yourself, your belief over yourself, that okay, you can put in the effort and you can get results out of it. So I think it's somewhere important. So we're starting with that. I think the link will be up in in a couple of days. It will be in below my in my some of my videos. I think it'll be there, and I think it'll be very helpful for both of us, for you and for me, and for the entire setup in general. So mentorship program is very helpful. Actually, in some of the others, in what happens that sometimes in the entire CAT journey, there are approximately 5 meetings. Like I'm talking from a general idea that there are approximately 5 meetings, and 5 meetings, at least one-on-one meetings between the student and the mentor, and at least 2 or 3 of them just discuss the your progress and your future plan on how to tweak and manipulate and make some modifications to your preparation plan, and how to make those modifications, so that way I think so similar thing can be done here. So coming to today's class here, let's try and discuss how to manage do well in odd one out. Yeah, my name is Anupam Saxena. I'm responsible for more than 3,100 hours of CAT training, and trained more than 3,500 students for CAT. And I've also do a lot of verbal ability questions for GMAT. To stay in touch, download and install Unacademy app. Go to Plus, go to CAT, and subscribe. A lot of, and these are the 5 offerings in front of you. So anything more than 6 months makes sense. Look at the pricing. It is 15,750 for 12 months after discount, and 18,950 for 12 months. So I think the pricing wise, I think it is the most amazing pricing that you can ever get. It's most pocket friendly pricing that can happen. And the code, if you use the code Saxena Live, you will get 10% discount. I think that is that is going to help you actually. So please do this much. And even if you are not fine, just start taking smaller packages also. I'm like, smaller packages are also fine. Like if you take these packages, I think even that is fine. If it works for you, takes. But then just start the relationship with us, and yeah, I think that's how it's going to be helpful. And the EMI options are available on 6, 12, and 24-month subscription as well. And yeah. So see, like I was discussing yesterday in a class also, in a Plus session. So Plus classes are different classes. Plus classes with the kind of work which we are doing is amazing. I'm not saying that we're not doing that kind of work on YouTube, but in Plus classes, the kind of attention which I can give to you, and the kind of time which we have of 2 hours, that sort of a leisure time we do not have right now. And I'll say that when it comes to odd one out, the majority holds the key. Right? That when I say, so when in normal scenario, majority is not considered to be a very good word, and I'm not saying it in terms of politics, in terms of the current socio-political environment of this country or across the world. In fact, I have no politics of my own. I'm some completely an apolitical individual. But what I'm trying to say that majority of the sentences hold the key. How and what the majority of the sentences they're trying to say. What are they saying? What are they referring to? What is the primary purpose? What is the central idea? And if majority of the sentences they're talking about one aspect or two aspect, 1 point or 2 point, and this is one line just talking about just talking about something which may contain one word somewhere which has been used. So for example, if it's just talking about majority itself in 5 lines, then 4 lines they're talking about what are the problems with the when we take into account the what the majority of the people think. And one sentence is about that how majority has impacted majority has impacted politics in some remote island in the Pacific Ocean, right? So this is the thing is that what is the core idea, what is the crux of the sentences that actually holds the key. Okay, let's try and talk more about it. Let's see what is next. So yeah, like I say, always solve 2 to 3 odd one out questions and analyze the questions that you answered incorrectly. So try and so the right way would be to say that and analyze the question that you have answered incorrectly. That is the thing, that you have answered incorrectly. I think that holds the key, that if you are constantly keeping a tab on how you're performing and what you're doing, and keeping a very close tab on what you're saying, keeping a close tab on what strategy do you have in mind for your performance, then I think it is extremely important that you will it is imperative that you will improve in your scores. Okay, 5 sentences related to a topic are given below. 4 of them can be put together to form a meaningful and coherent short paragraph. Identify the odd one out, choose its number as your answer, and key it in. One says translators are like bumblebees. So translators are like bumblebees, and so the thing is that they're saying that translators are like bumblebees. So we assume right now that translator means normal, a person who translates a text written in language A to say language B. A person who translates whatever is written in English to say Kannada or Hindi or Bangla or something which is written in Kannada, and a person knows Hindi as well. So a person is translating Kannada to Hindi, right? So translator, we understand right now, we understand it that much only, we don't know much. And bumblebees are they're a species of bees, basically. They are they are kind of bees itself, yeah. And they're saying that translators are like bees. Now there should be some reason behind it, no? Let's read it further. It says, though long since scientifically disproved, this factoid is a fact, which is something minor, and a factoid is something which for which there's a little doubt also whether this is correct or not. this factoid is still routinely trotted out, means it is presented. So they should be they think this factoid and scientifically disproved. So we don't know what is referring to. We still don't know. Similar next line says, similar pronouncements about the impossibility of translations have dodged the practitioners since Leonardo Bruni's interpretation recta published in 2024. Okay, so they're saying that there was some preconceived notion, some pronouncements about the impossibility of translation that have created a lot of problems for they have sort of dodged, means they have sort of giving a bit of trouble or made them confused or confounded basically. So dodged the practitioners since there was a first publication of somebody eminent in 1424. So there was an impossibility of translation around it, that probably translation is not possible. Since we're talking about 14th, 15th century, so probably at that time translation was not considered, you cannot translate anything from one language to the another. It was not considered possible. Probably it's because it's very early. We're talking about very early 15th century. It says bees unaware of these deliberations have continued to flit from flower to flower, and translators continue to translate. And then in 1934, the French and entomologist Auguste Magnan produced a flight of the bumblebee to be aerodynamically possible. So 1934, the French entomologist Auguste Magnan produced a flight of the bumblebee to be aerodynamically possible. So they are saying now that, so now it's connecting how there were some pronouncements about the impossibility of translation here given. And then it says 1934, the French and entomologist Auguste Magnan pronounced the flight of bumblebee to be aerodynamically impossible. Connection, right? And then it says, then comes so then it says that, so there is the similar pronouncements. That means there's a clear-cut connection between 5 and 3. Then comes your 4, saying what? Bees unaware of these deliberations have continued to flit from flower to flower, and translators have continued to translate. So flit means to take short flights, move sort of in that way. And which will be started by 1534, right? So translators are like bumblebee. In 1934, the French and entomologist Auguste Magnan produced a flight of bumblebee to be pronounced a flight of the bumblebee to be aerodynamically impossible. That there was this person who was experts in the field of insects. So insects, people who study, they're known as entomologists, and the science is known as entomology. So there was this person who said that the flight of bumblebee is not possible at all. if you take into consideration the physics and the science behind it, it is nowhere possible. And 3 is connected. Similar thoughts have been expressed about translation. And then comes 4, that B is unaware of these deliberations. What deliberations? The one which have been mentioned in 3 and in 5. They have continued to flit from flower to flower. And then says 1, translators are like bumblebees. Right. So in that way, so it sort of covers it all. So we know that also, to me, there is one more issue. They say that this factoid, which factoid they're talking about? So they're talking about which factoid? This factoid is referring to what? We don't know, right? And there is no fact or no factoid, no small fact or no fact which can be argued upon, over which people might disagree. Nothing of this sort has been mentioned here, right? So in that way also, this factoid is totally threaded out. We don't know which fact this is referring to. So this is a pronoun. It should refer to some idea here, and it's not referring to anything anywhere. So in that way, 2 is also incorrect. So yeah, so if you look at it, yeah, if you look in this question, I'll agree that it was a little difficult also. And but then if you just go by the ek baat aur try and also understand that if they have mentioned about translators and bumblebees, they will talk about it. No, if the paragraph says that translators are like bumblebees, it will give some information about it first, which they're doing here. They talk about bumblebees, they talk about translations, and then they say ki, both are doing their jobs without worrying about it, without worrying about any of those concerns which have been raised. Right. So in that way, it sort of fits the bill. And yeah, all sentences do look relevant. The point is that if you will say that see, the point is that sentences will look relevant, that is all right. But if you're really looking for the links, like for example, we were looking here for links with respect to the pronoun, and we found that there was no, when we say this factoid, it wasn't referring to anything else anywhere. Right. So in that way, this was sort of, it was, in a way, it was not connecting to anything else anywhere else. Okay. And one more point here is that we were looking for some common connections, right? That if they've spoken about translators and bumblebee, then they will talk about it further. There'll be some, they will talk about bumblebees, and then they will talk about, they'll talk about translators, and they'll go on further to talk about it. But Also, if they've spoken about translators and bumblebees, they will talk about them only for next 3-4 lines. There'll be a very strong connection. There'll be very strong affinity and unity of ideas, which should be coming. Let's look at one more odd one out. The sentences have for the first time managed to edit genes in human embryo to repair a genetic mutation, fueling hopes that such procedures may one day be available outside laboratory conditions. So they're saying that scientists have managed to, for the first time, managed to edit genes in human embryo to repair a genetic mutation. So in an embryo, they have repaired a genetic mutation, which is a big thing, right? And they have hopes that it may one day be available outside laboratory conditions. So one day it'll be very much possible that genetic mutation in human embryo is done, in an actual case wherein a mother, a lady, she's pregnant, she's expecting, she's carrying a baby, and we know that there is some genetic disease which has been transferred, and those mutation can be changed. Now, okay, then it says that we don't know about, and it says all genetic mutation no, which one? Okay, it says the cardiac disease causes sudden death in otherwise healthy young athletes and affects about 1 in 500 people. See, it causes sudden death. The cardiac disease. Also, if you read here, there is this, they mention here, in results announced in Nature this week, the scientist fixed a mutation that thickens the heart muscle, a condition called hypotraumatic cardiomyopathy. Right, so they're saying that the scientists fixed a mutation that thickens the heart muscle, a condition called hypertrophic cardiomyopathy. So there's this muscle 5 and this is this 5-2. There's a connection here, all right? That is a pakka. And then it says that it is caused by mutation of a particular gene, and child will suffer from the condition even if it inherits one copy of the mutated gene. They're saying that this mutation is caused by mutation in a particular gene, and child will suffer from the condition even if one copy of the mutated gene is inherited. So even this is a connection. Works out, right? Works out all right. Chalo. 5-4. 3 talks about mutation has been source of many Hollywood movies, but it's really a simple process of mistake that made in DNA. But it is really a simple process of mistake made in a DNA sequence that is being copied. So they're talking about mutation being a source of many Hollywood. We are talking about a specific case a specific scenario which will be helpful. Right? So it should be 1524 basically. And 3 is the odd one out, because here they're talking about Hollywood movies and how it is impacting and what is happening here. Mutation has been source of many Hollywood movies, but it's really a simple process of a mistake made in a DNA sequence. That's all. So 1524 is the actual answer. And 3 is the odd one out. Because because all the 4 sentences, they were talking about a genetic mutation which has been which has been done to make improvements in this condition called hypertrophic cardiomyopathy. And then it says that this cardiac disease causes sudden death in otherwise healthy athletes and affects 1 in 5 people. It's caused by mutations in particular gene and all that stuff. We go on and talk about that, how it affects and how it happens, and what is that that heart disease known as. But 3 is talking about an entirely different idea. It talks about what is the primary purpose of this paragraph? The primary purpose of this paragraph is to sensitize people about the addition, about the scientific achievements, about the feat in which a genetic mutation has been repaired, and how it will help people who are suffering from a particular disease which used to impact so many people. And it also and this piece also talks about that how it used to happen, and to give a process of how it used to impact people basically, and how many people were impacted in general. All this they mention here. But 3 is talking about what? Mutation has been source of DNA, DNA source, been source of DNA in been source of many Hollywood movies. We're not talking about Hollywood movies. We're not talking about how simple is a process made that it's a simple process of mistake made in a DNA sequence as it is being copied. So in that way, I think it's really different. Okay. So say if somebody marked 4 as an answer here. If somebody marked 4 as an answer, that 4 is the odd one out. So what is the mistake here? Mistake here is that it is talking about mutation, it is talking about children, it is talking about one copy. So there is a and it also has a it here. So we fail to see the connection between 2 lines based on grammar and ideas. It is also involved, referring to the cardiac disease. All right, and we are also not taking into consideration the ideas mentioned here, which are same as the idea they have been talking about. And how it happens? It happens because there's a mutation in a particular gene, and a child will suffer even if it inherits only one copy of the mutated gene, right? So we fail to see the connection between two lines based on grammar and ideas. Okay, and then modification in the preparation, we have to start understanding the primary text of the given passage. Also, look for grammar-based connections. The majority of the lines the idea mentioned in the majority of lines holds the key to when looking for yeah, so this is how it is. So if you look at this question, the previous one, if we try and talk about the primary purpose of these of these lines, what is the primary purpose? The primary purpose of these lines was to describe how bumblebees and translators are similar in a way that doubts were as aspersions and doubts were casted upon their flights and their so for bees, for their flights, how they fly, doubts were casted, and for the translators, the doubts were casted that translation is never possible, and how irrespective of the fact that doubts have been casted, people have been thinking about it, people have been saying that it is not possible, bees and translators both have continued to do whatever they are supposed to do, whatever they should be doing. And this is and here too says that though long since scientifically disproved, this factoid is still routinely talked about. So there is no match anywhere. It is not matching to the primary purpose or any other thing. That is how it is. So all right, thank you very much, and yeah. Unacademy subscription offers you live classes. It gives you an opportunity to interact with the educator. You get live classes and leaderboard, test series and analysis, live doubt clearing sessions also. And test series are extremely important. They are really important, and they have to be used. You have to write test series to gain good marks. So please utilize test series, and for that you have to, of course, you have to subscribe to Unacademy channel, Unacademy, and you look in the prices. The prices are amazingly less. They are it's most pocket friendly. If you look at the pricing, it's most pocket friendly. 15,700 for 12 months, and for 24 months it is 18,900. Then there are EMI options also. Use the code Saxena live on to get 10% discount. Okay, please do it. And yeah, and so of course, if you and on our Unacademy app, there are a lot of free special live classes, like one which I'll be taking on this Friday, on Sunday at 5 p.m. At least that's a plan. There may be one more class. That class I'm doing, 5 p.m. class. That will be again on the verbal ability, some insights which we haven't discussed thus far. And please join us for those free sessions and try and look at it. And how can we help you? And Unacademy, I can say that I think they're providing good content. We are technologically superior. We have been in this space since we began 5 years back. So I think it's quite amazing to see the kind of work which we are doing. And please help. Please ask for doubts. Please ask us for help. Please demand us more. Okay, and so that we are compelled to do things for you. Okay, use the code Saxena Live and get 10% discount. Thank you very much.